cow juice. Bee juice. Oh no. That's all right. Oh, man like Kaleb. Oh, there is the spoiler. Oh. Hi, I'm Adam C and welcome to my Nissan 350Z and Chipping Norton, or the area of, which is where Jeremy Clarkson lives, because we're heading to Clarkson's farm, Diddley Squat Farm, for a Banzai Rally. So that's a rally of modified cars. We've got a Valeside Supra behind us and we are heading there. This is my first time at the farm for their private event. Is that, what are they?
Oh wow. What? They were 250 GTOs.
So they were two 250 GTOs. So there's the Camping and Caravanning Club. It's all so familiar. Here we are. Welcome to Diddley Squat Farm. Oh, that's bumpy. Oh, it's all very familiar, and they have properly made a car park. Apparently queues on a normal day here are like 2.5 hours to get into the farm shop, just to buy some milk and eggs. So first off, we've got an S14 being unloaded, sounding pretty fruity. There's going to be a great turnout today. We are capturing arrivals. This one actually is road legal. It's drove here, as opposed to the cars that are being taken off a trailer. Here is the Valeside Supra that was behind us, and an R3 RX-8 with an Evo over the brave set of orange wheels. So the S13 is parking up next to the S14, which sounds like a 2J inside the 14. I almost stepped in poo. There's cars still arriving, but we've got the shop in front of us. So the main shop that you'll be familiar with is here, and they've got a little extension barn and keep off the crop sign, warning us not to ruin any of his handiwork. Very protective over the crop. So they are setting up to open the farm shop, but we can see right in front of us we have the cow juice. So this is an automatic milk dispenser, and boy does it smell. So let's head in. You got some pork pies, you've got your bacon, you've got your sausages, some brown spherical objects. You get a little punnet of strawberries, some tomatoes, blueberries. Some of these are made in-house, including the milk. You could buy some merch. Got some beans, some potatoes, some bread. A lot of lovely smelling bread. Got their own ice cream too. Hello. Ah, look, they've made a pheasant out of shotgun cartridges. Ah, yes, I'm going to buy some bee juice. I have to. I have to. Jeremy got stung twice making it, so I have some bee juice. Lovely, thank you. I got my bee juice. So around the back there is a bar and this Jeep, which is from an episode. You got a Jeep and a sheep. So the Jeep from this particular episode of the Grand Tour is in the barn. In front of us we have the farm, which we will stop here at due to the signage. So he owns quite a lot of this. I'm sure many of you have seen Clarkson's farm and very familiar with this location, which is why it's so fantastic that we're here and we have our bee juice, which was £12.80. So we should probably capture some arrivals. We've got the lavatories here. Not that you needed to see them, but there you go. We're capturing everything. There's a bin. And there is a orange Supra. There are millions and millions of bees at Diddley Squat, and whilst the men bees sit at home all day waiting for a summons from the Queen, the lady bees buzz about in the wildflower meadows and in the oilseed rape fields, making the juice we sell at the farm shop. Thank you, ladies, it's delicious. So my bee juice is now in the car, and we can have a proper look around at the cars that are here. There are still arrivals. There's a V8 S14, and here is one of the twin-charged Evos. So this one, according to its dyno readout, is over 1,000 horsepower, and there'll be no lag at all because you've got the supercharger and the turbocharger, so at every RPM it's always in boost. You've got side pipes on each side and some slight wide arches with the orange wheels and the carbon boot. So there's another Evo here, and the S14 is manoeuvring around past the rest of the drift team, including Max's PS13, which is currently being stickered up. VG seems to be a popular option, and we're checking out the Bayside Blue R34 and an R35 next door. Got the S2000 and an aired out Subaru. So I think everyone is hoping today that Jeremy Clarkson pops by because this is the first private meet that has been hosted here. So there's a chance. It's a Wednesday, he could be working on the farm. I'm sure we'll notice if he does arrive because crowds will just kind of gather and flock. There's a few supercars too, and there's a classic section just over there which we should probably have a look at. You will have noticed the Hakasuka Nissan Skyline next door to a Toyota Mark II. So part of the JZX series. I'm not sure which number this one is, but a couple of very classic JDM cars, properly JDM, next door to a Triumph TR6. So we do have a British classic here taking part in the Banzai Rally. So we go from the small British classic to the massive American Plymouth. This isn't even that big compared to some American cars with the side pipes down there. Of course, left-hand drive, turquoise interior matching the turquoise exterior paint job next to an old Land Rover. We have the Wedge pop-up crew, the RX-7 and the Lotus Esprit next to a purple S14 with brave turquoise wheels. Purple and turquoise, they're like my two favourite colours. We've got this GT2 RS and a Gallardo Spider Gen 1 with bronze wheels. So we have supercars opposite drift cars, and now that the crowds are queuing up for their food, we can see this lineup, if I stand back a little bit more, all together. S13, S14, PS13 all lined up in their liveries with the R34 on the end. So we've got the Cayman rolling in. As we go past, we see the new Mark 8 Volkswagen Golf R and the Mugen FD2. There is the four-door R34 with a spoiler you can see on the rear. Then Targa, Huracan, Cayman, and around here we've got the EK9, the Lexus 370Z, BRZ, and an R33 Skyline with an orange Supra next door, the Subaru, the 1 Series, and the Fiat 500. We've got cars coming in still. A very loud Subaru has just entered, and in about, I forgot my watch, we're going to see the Banzai cars leaving on their 4-day route, which goes from here down south and then ends up at Japfest at Silverstone, so we can watch them depart the show. Oh wow! Max has bought the merch. What have you got? You've got the bee juice.
And some pizza seasoning.
Pizza seasoning, I didn't see that in there. We have had 2 new arrivals, including this Capri that sounded a little bit sus. We were trying to recognise the sound. It's a 2J inside a Capri, which just makes sense. They always had the wrong underpowered engines in them as standard, so a lot of people do engine swap them. So it's got a 2J. We've next to an R34 who is also getting stickered up for the rally. So before we get ready to watch them leave, there's one more lineup we haven't looked at with a couple of V8 Vantages, the C63 and another C63, which is very vibrant next to the F-Type. And just beyond we have a Corvette C6. This sounded pretty insane as it came in, so I'm looking forward to hearing this leave, which is in front of the Hakasuka, which now has the bonnet open so you can, oh wow. Check those out. And I've just noticed, rather fittingly, this Corvette has a sticker on the back. Power! And finally, we have another Evo, an MX-5 with a spoolie boy underneath. We've got Jordan's S15 next door to that. We've got another twin-charged Evo. This one's about 800 horsepower. It's got a full carbon body. He is next door to the DC-5 and the Imperial Blue Ford Escort Cosworth. We've also realised that this Evo has flappy paddles, which is a word that was actually christened by Clarkson. No one used the term flappy paddle to describe a gearbox before Clarkson did. So they have made benches and sofas, and in fact the sofa's free, so we sit on the sofa, out of pallets. Actually no, I prefer the bench. So we've grabbed some stuff at the bar. They had vodka and alcohol, which we didn't get. This is cola. It's 9:30. I'm not that alcoholic.
But my girlfriend is.
Oh no, what's Clarkson been up to this time? Something slightly on fire in the background. So I brought my 350Z just in case that Caleb turned up in his, and he's turned up. I don't know whether he is in his. He's chatting to Max about the drift car just over there. So he's not part of the fire, which is just over there. He's telling stories about modified cars.
There we go.
See if you're happy with that.
That's all right.
So a little chat with Caleb with the 350Z, and as I mentioned earlier, I do love a Corvette, and here we are with the Corvette C6. So taking a look inside, I might have to get used to having a left hooker if I do want to get a Viper one day. So do a little oh, I like that. I do like a V8. I won't rev it.
Give it a little blip.
A little one. Oh. So after a bit of looking around and enjoying the Diddley Squat Farm, we're at the exit to film some of the departures. We had the supercars tear off earlier, and now we've got the Escort Cosworth negotiating the bump, which has been scraped. We're all good. Man like Kaleb leaving a car show, you're going to see a smoky burnout. They're telling him to behave. There it goes. The cars are starting to leave, negotiating the bump, and they're all being told to take care because the campsite, as some of you may know, is just next door, so they want to keep on their good side, I reckon, so they can continue to host events. So, there goes the 34. And rather randomly and bizarrely, we've got old Citroen passing through. Oh, he's pulling in. It's not quite the same kind of car that's on the Banzai Rally today, but I'm not going to complain. Next up, we've got the Valeside Supra. It's always very butt-clenching seeing these cars approaching the bump. Most of the Banzai Rally are all heading out. These cars are all stickered up for the tour. They're heading down south and then ending up at Japfest, back up at Silverstone. Celica GT4 sounds great. A86 next up, and the EK9. So we had a green Nismo 370 earlier, we've now got a pinky purpley one and a horny 1 Series convertible waving. So it's nice seeing different colours on these 370s. Talking of colours, we've got the yellow Celica next up with the bonnet mounted spoiler and a couple more spoilers on the rear with a GT86 behind. So we've got the matte blue Subaru with a scrapey S15 next up. Yeah, you should be alright. You got a couple of inches. yeah, you got a few inches. Shouldn't have worded it that way. MX-5 has lost his rear bumper. See if we'll be able to hear any of these horses galloping underneath the car. So next up we have the 2J Capri, which we won't be able to hear much of, but you can appreciate. Oof. And then the Banzai Supra is heading off to join the tour. Oh look, he's got the the rear mirror externally. Oh. Yeah, we don't want to wake up the happy campers. It's 11 o'clock. They've all had rough nights with their PIMs and whatever they get up to in their vans, so we won't be hearing a lot of noises from the cars. And remember, if the caravans are rocking, don't come a-knocking. Wouldn't miss that in a traffic jam. And one car we didn't see in there was this spoiler with a GT86 attached to it. You'll notice it's a rather sizable wing on the back of that GT86. There's more done to it as well, but the spoiler really does stand out. So we've got Jordan in the S15 next and the 235i. Oh, the bump on the MX-5! Oh no! It's almost coming off! It's properly digging in! Oh dear! Oh dear, oh dear. So Jordan managed the corner, but the MX-5 is not having much luck. It just looks hilarious. What? Oh, there we go. A bit of saviour. So there is the spoiler on the back of the GTA. Oh. It's still on. It's still on. Oh, it's the bumper. There we go. I didn't know what to film. There was so much going on. The splitter is already split, but he's not split it any further than it's already split. I think that pretty much sums up the Banzai Rally. And the final car to depart the show is the Integra Type R in silver, which you don't often see. So they were all the cars leaving for the Banzai Rally. We've got the Evo waiting to be loaded up, and Jeremy Clarkson did not turn up because he's on holiday. So we did get talking to some of the guys from the Diddley Scott Farm Shop, and they informed us that unfortunately Clarkson won't be here, and they're currently filming for the second series of Clarkson's farm. It's kind of getting into harvest season, so they are harvesting some crop. And check out all that lavender over there. Most of what you can see is owned by Jeremy Clarkson. He lives just down there, and he often has cars driving around. He still drives his massive Bentley around, so hopefully when I'm next here we'll get a glimpse. But I got to chat to Kaleb about my broken roof of my 350Z, so that's made the day all worthwhile, and that's why I brought the 350. So I might bring the Cobra next time, who knows, we shall see. So a big thanks to the Banzai Rally for inviting me down here for the first private event at the Diddley Scott Farm Shop, and my first time here as well. So I hope you enjoyed that video. Follow me on Instagram to see the pictures, behind the scenes action and daily updates from what I get up to. But for now, thanks for watching.